You know what I mean? I got the Albert Einstein on me, man.
Uh,
You
the
feel me?
black one.
You
Well,
feel me? I'm
no, I take that back. The Israelite
what
one.
the Israelite one, you feel me?
Mm.
Alberta Yah.
Alberta, yeah, yeah.
Alberta Yah. What's good, Ock? How you feeling today, man?
Today, honestly, I'm feeling like pretty good today.
That's good to hear,
Um,
man.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm feeling very. Cause either way, I feel good. But like, if it's a
Mhm.
scale up here for some reason today, like
Mm.
feel real pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I feel like people sleep on their ability to choose their mood. Like it don't
Yeah,
matter what's going on in your life, you get to choose if you gonna let it put you in a certain place or not. Like
right,
that's your free will. And people be like, "Oh, this happened, so I'm this." No, this happened, so you decided to be this.
right,
And I feel like that's a big thing. Like there's a different level of energy you gotta put into it when something's going on versus when something's not going on, but it's still your choice. And I feel like I'm usually pretty high on the scale. Um Lately I've noticed myself allowing people to annoy me more,
mm,
which I gotta figure out what that's about. But in general, I'm up here. Today, I'm up here. Every time I get a day where I just get to chill and just focus on y'all, I'm good. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't nothing to
X,
complain about. I just got me a new chain in the mail. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Not the flex. It's copper. It ain't no flex for real. But I like copper. It matched my skin tone well. It got healing properties and whatnot. So you know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah,
rocking out.
yeah. I feel that. But like that kind of goes along with what we was talk about. Um,
Yeah.
where it's like I think the way we was fed information, um, was that you are I shouldn't say your experience, but you are uh
You're a
you
body that goes through
yeah,
experiences.
like you are your emotions type of thing. Like like the
Mm,
situation you are in and how you are feeling is you. That's not
yeah.
you. That's just an experience.
Hmm.
That's why I said
I
you are
agree.
your experiences. It's not.
I think. Oh, go ahead. My fault. My
No,
fault.
no, you good. You can go.
I think that's a very big thing to distinguish and to try to remind people of, because a lot of people get tied to their emotional response to somebody's words. And if somebody's words make you have an emotional response and you think your emotions are you think because your emotions are challenged that they are coming against your identity. Like people's whole identity is wrapped up in their emotions. So it's like if I were to say abortion is wrong, they think, oh well, I have feelings about abortion that could be good feelings. Like, oh, what if somebody got raped? You know,
Yeah,
then that's a good one. So like, why are you coming for me? You know what I mean? Like people get too
yeah,
wrapped up in that. Nah, bro, you are something else that's existing and being refined through this body experience.
exactly.
And it's
Um,
it influences who you are, but it's not who you are, is what I'll say. Or it
which
influences your view on who you are. It wakes you up to who you could be.
right,
You get
which
to choose which path you take on that.
and that's the thing is it always comes down to like once you understand that you are because so the video that I'm editing right now is called True Freedom. Good.
Yeah. I
It,
punched my mic.
it's called it's called True Freedom, a letter to my
Mhm.
people, in parentheses, because one thing, even the last song that I put out, where I said, uh, I'm not speaking to the masses no more. I think initially when I was making videos, because of the information that I was fed growing up,
Mhm.
it's like I have to reach everybody. I have to
Everybody.
do this. But now that I have more information, I know that I'm only speaking to a remnant. I'm only
Mhm.
speaking to people who truly have wanted this, who truly seek
Yeah.
truth.
I
And
definitely
that's
agree with that.
and when I do that, now sometimes there are people who truly seek truth, but they are at a very when I say low spot, lower level of understanding. So I might
Mhm.
have to like tailor a message specifically to them. But what I also do believe, because it's layers to everything, um, I think y'all will send them a teacher,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna do what I'm called to do, which
Exactly.
is at this specific level. And that's why I kind of
Mhm.
have changed my approach. But besides all that, the reason why I brought up my recent video that it's not recent because it's not even out. My upcoming
It's
video
it's recent
is
to you.
right, right. Recently recorded audio of the video, put it like that.
Yeah.
Um, is that dude named Michael Cochini? That's his name.
Mhm.
There was books and there were things that I would read that I wouldn't stamp truth to because I
Okay.
was just soaking up so much information. But
Mhm.
the way he explained life and freedom and like choice, I kind of agree with the analogy that he said because I think you know the one where
Yeah.
it's like you're standing under a waterfall, and I'm just going to explain it real quick. Where he was
Mhm.
saying if there's a waterfall, each droplet of water is a life experience, but you are just standing under the waterfall. So you're not the life experiences, you're standing inside of them. Freedom would
Mhm.
be you being able to step. So when those things happen, when the water hits you, uh, how you initially react is just instinctual. That's not freedom. You're just a slave to how your body was coded, um,
Mhm.
how the system was coded. So when somebody tells you something and you're immediately frustrated, if you react rashly, then you're a slave to those emotions. Freedom would be you choosing to make the right decision. And to make the right decision, you have to know what the right decision actually is. The way you find that out is studying, meditating, standing Yah's laws, and doing those. And then you'll learn his character. You'll go through different cycles in your life. You'll be able to step out from underneath the waterfall, understand the situation, and then step back in to experience it and see how you feel. And that's how you really experience emotion without
Mhm.
the emotion becoming you. Um, and then you can use that as fuel or like kind of like motivation. When I say fuel,
Mhm.
just motivation to do things and continue to go uh
To seek out
through
new water droplets and whatnot
exactly
and figure
you,
more out.
exactly. And that is very important in this walk in general because the
Mm.
way I hear people speak is as though the way they were coded or the way things are is them. So people's identity, and I was about to bring up part of what I had written in the video, but I'll have to try to find it maybe when you talk next. But the way people act now is everything that people go through that becomes their identity now. So
Mhm.
um people who have ADHD, they identify with literally being ADHD.
Mhm.
Um people who people identify as their sexuality. People
Yep.
identify as these things as if these things define who
Define
you
you,
are. You
yeah.
are. That's
Like
not
you
you.
you're a fluid, like people have the ability to choose and change on the split of a pea. I don't even know if that's even a idiom, but I just made it up. A split of a pea. Um, and I feel like that's people definitely they just it sucks to see people do that because I feel
Right.
like, bro, you could be so much more and I know you could be more. And like what I tell myself is like, even I'll be in the middle of a conversation with somebody and I will say it out loud. We might be talking about ADHD or something. And I'm like, it's not who I am, it's just what I'm going through. And they might look at me a certain type of way, but it's like, bro, this is not who I am. I know that I'm I'm a conqueror. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's certain things that the Bible tell me that don't line up with what I'm going through right now. But that don't mean that the Bible line, I mean that what I'm going through is just getting me to where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
Because if the Bible is true, if we believe that that's our foundation, and I'm getting there, I am that thing. I'm on the road to do that. So like I gotta be refined. I gotta burn this thing out. So if I think I got ADHD or something, okay, I'm not taking a pill. Everybody I know that say that they got it is on medication and stuff for it, and it's like, bro, and they'll look at me crazy for saying no. I want a raw dog life. Like I want to experience this quote unquote hindrance and see, is it actually, am I gonna let this thing hinder me? Or am I gonna use it as a superpower? Because
Exactly.
if we being real about it, ADHD means you got too much attention to pay. That sounds like a superpower to me.
Yeah.
You you could super lock in on stuff, or you could lock in on multiple things at the same time, but you don't know how to control it. So when you letting that thing control you, that means any stimulus in this world, and we know that the world is a crazy place and it's meant to pull you away from these principles and the things you're supposed to be
Exactly.
doing. You got too much attention to pay and you got too many distractions to focus on. Now, if I take them distractions away, then what? I got more attention than the average person to pay to the things that are supposed to make my life better.
Exactly.
That's a superpower. I'm a
For real.
super soldier. Like
For real. For
I
real.
don't even know how else to explain it. And it's just I want to get to that point, and I know I still have spots where I'm still ironing out them kinks, but I know that I got things that when I lock in on them, I do better than my peers. And
Yeah.
not to talk down on my peers, nothing, but like I just let me not even compare myself to my peers. I know that when I lock in on something, I'm gonna do a good job and I'm gonna dedicate it to y'all, and that's
Right.
it. Um, and I think that we need to get to a point where people believe that they can change, and because I think everybody tries to pick a side on stuff. Just believe that you're human, and that's enough.
Right.
Once you accept that you're a human and you're not really in control of a lot, you just got to experience it and then choose where to go from it.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And so, like your sexuality, sure, you might be a man attracted to boys, or not. Let me say a man attracted to men.
Yeah.
Just you know, just because that's what you're going through, or that's what you experience, does not mean that that is Yah's overall goal for your life.
Right.
You know, that don't, maybe you are somebody who's supposed to go through that. Maybe you had some abuse in your childhood and it opened up some doors that you didn't even want to be open, and now you dealing with it, right?
Yeah.
You can deal with it and then help somebody else.
Right.
Your whole point is to help somebody else. And so
Right.
like when you
Love
just
your
get stuck
neighbor.
in, you feel me?
That's
If
the
you get
whole
stuck in facts, you get stuck in that trauma, and I said it in a song that we made. My people took our trauma and we turned it into culture. You
yeah.
taking your trauma and making it your identity, in a group identity at that,
Right. And then you making
you're
people
gonna
feel like the people who go
like support
against it,
to do it.
yeah,
Like,
you're trying to like exalt trauma and make it
exactly.
uh
You making the trauma the new foundation.
the foundation. Yeah. Like it's so many scriptures is coming to my head when you was talking, but like
Mm,
a couple of them is because when you were talking about you said raw dog in life. It's in like Romans 1:20 through the end of the chapter.
mhm,
Pretty much talks about how the things that people will do, things that they know are wrong, and will um make somebody who they know is doing right feel bad about it, but uh praise the person who is trying to do like the darkness with them.
mm,
Um and that's what you see going all around. Like the other, what was that game we used to play? Ark. I was playing Ark with so when I used to play COD competitively, there was a certain teammate that I was playing with, and he was on Ark, and he happened to like invite me one day and was like, "Oh, what's up, Trey? Like, bro, we ain't played in I don't know how long, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And we just started talking, and he was like, I think he asked me if I smoked or drank or anything like that, and I was like, "Done that a long time. I just got a raw dog life for real." And I said, and he was like, he said, "No, that's crazy for real." Me and my boy be drinking all the time though. And then he kept going. And then I could tell that he was drunk and he was drinking as we was playing. He was starting to like be more open, I guess.
Yeah.
And he kept on saying, "Bro, you really don't smoke or drink? You really don't do nothing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't. I don't do nothing." And he was like, "It's cool and all, but like, bro, you being serious? Like, is that what you do?" And he kept on like saying it like, I'm like,
They be
"Yeah, bro.
bewildered by it,
Like,
bro.
is it
It's like,
like,
bro,
yeah, like that's
facts.
yeah, that's what I'm doing." Um,
That's why, like, a lot of people will try to like the same way we just talked about, like they want to turn the trauma into culture and then make it a group thing. If you go to a party or something and you're not drinking, what they do, peer pressure you into trying to drink with them. No, you gotta take a shot. You gotta take a shot. You gotta take a shot. Whatever it is, because for one, misery loves company. But a lot of people can't believe two things. They can't believe that you can endure this life without some type of comfort or a comfort that they don't understand. That's what we got. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But that's number one. And then number two, um, dang, I forgot what number two was.
dang.
Number two was that people I'm trying to talk and just hope that it come out. Uh Dang, it really disappeared. They can't believe that you don't need that. And then yeah, it's gone. I
Hey,
I
bro,
I
it's cool. I be doing that
you know what
too.
I'm saying?
When I lose it, bro, I low key just start
Yeah.
talking about it, and I be like,
And sometimes
it's
it'll
gonna
come
pop up.
right back.
Sometimes it
Facts.
don't, and I be like, dang. But
Hmm.
what like one thing that I had to, I was just talking to Daryl about this yesterday. I was like, because you were talking about distractions and ADHD and everything else, right? So what I explained to him was, because the way you ended it was, we humans, and I said, this is the only assumption that you have to make from
Hmm.
what I'm about to say for the rest of it to be true. You're a human, and if I assume that all of us are humans, then I know that we go to bed and we wake up, or we just spawn in and we try and figure out what we doing here.
Yep.
And what the majority of people do, what everybody does every single day, is try to figure out why they're here. And inside of that, they get so lost, but there's a
Hmm.
distraction in front of them that can kind of take their mind off of it for just long enough. And then when you got a group of people who do that, now it seems normal because everybody's distracting themselves. So it must be
Facts.
normal for everybody to distract themselves. Um, Even though we
But
all
if you're
know,
not distracting yourself, people look at you like, bro, how are
and
you
when
doing that? Why are you
exactly,
doing that?
exactly, I was
This
gonna
is
say
normal. This is how we get through life. Like,
when you because this kind of goes back to when we was talking before we got on here. when when I talk to people, let me tell you the conclusion, and I'm gonna tell you how to get there. The conclusion is your light will just make people uncomfortable because they love darkness. Kind of like what Yahusha was saying. His
yep,
presence alone was making people like was convicting people.
uncomfortable. Facts.
Like imagine it always kind of reminds me of, I'm not calling people roaches, but if you this analogy is calling people roaches. When Pops when Pops would say he was like, I didn't like eating cereal because if it was nighttime or like you flick the lights on, roaches they'll run to the inside the cereal boxes or in the crevices or in the corners or something like that. That's what
Hmm.
happens when you are walking in Yah's laws, which we the things that are not a distraction. You walk in
Hmm.
those and you do things that you know you're supposed to do. And I can give you another example of when I used to uh suppress
Hmm.
how healthy of a lifestyle I lived was because I would notice the moment I would say, no, I don't do this because of this reason,
Hmm.
people would get
They get
defensive
weird. They
and
get
they get weird
defensive.
about it.
Yeah,
And I was
like you
like,
coming or something.
yeah,
Like,
and I would start thinking, oh dang, maybe I offended somebody, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I pushed the button. But it's
mhm.
like, bro, if there should be like, if you are fully set in what you do, no matter what somebody else do, it shouldn't
Yeah, you should
really
not get offended by it.
like you shouldn't get offended. That just it just tells me that your insecurities immediately pop
Mhm.
out, and and then that's why I said I was gonna show you
That's
how
why I
the
don't care if nobody call me the N word or say something
yeah,
crazy out of
because
pocket
it
like
ain't
that.
even
Like,
that ain't me, bro. Okay,
okay, like say what you
nice.
want.
You
I
got it.
don't care.
Did that make you
Look,
feel
this
better?
look, this my favorite response, right? I got two of them, right?
Yeah,
Now, you don't gotta use it in a way that you trying to like comfort nobody. You just trying to end the conversation and let them know you don't really care.
yeah.
You just say, number one is, yeah, bro, you got a whole lot of knowledge, huh?
No, for
And
real.
that's it. That's it. You
No,
ain't say nothing about their wisdom. They just got a whole lot of knowledge. Sometimes you got a whole lot of knowledge and you still I ain't gonna say idiot, but like you unlearned even though you learned.
yeah.
Right? That's number
You,
one.
you know
Number
what
two
Proverbs
is
say about that?
you feel me? Look,
uh,
and all you're getting, get understanding. Like, you know what I'm
facts.
saying?
No, for
Get
real.
some wisdom. You got some knowledge, you ain't got the wisdom. Or you still talking
Yeah,
and you walk away.
yeah.
That's the easiest way to end the
The
conversation.
the
I ain't gonna lie.
first one I use all the time simply
Mhm.
because it's it's that you tell somebody so like I'm gonna give you an example. If somebody so because we have our job, right?
Mhm.
If I do something and I know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna do it, and then a person tells me, no, you can't do that, or no, you gotta do this, or no, you gotta do that.
All right, bit bro.
Dang, you smart. You know a lot, huh? Show me.
Show me. Can you prove it?
Can you show
I
me?
just want to
Wow.
understand better.
Cause I don't get mad and be like, oh my God, this person's dumb. This is, I'd be like, oh
Mhm.
dang. Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Can you just show me?
Facts.
Oh,
Facts.
no, I
I
can't.
now, as an example, I'm not talking down on bro. I will say this thing to his face. I'm not even gonna say his name, but I got a coworker, right? He been at
Yeah.
the job for a while, so he know a lot. He got a lot of knowledge for sure.
Right.
But sometimes bro just wrong, and he don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And the other day he said some for context. We work at a phone store.
Right.
When you work at the phone companies, they rank you, right? They rank your store, they rank you individually, all that based on your performance. Now, bro said when everybody in the store is doing bad, or if people in the store are doing bad, it makes you worse on the ranker. And I said, you talking about as a store or you talking about individually? He said, no, like individual. I said, how?
That don't make sense. It,
And then
it's,
he said something, and I said, that don't make sense. How? And I just kept saying how.
yeah.
Eventually he said something that made sense, but like that was like the ninth reason he gave, and all of them I was looking at him like,
It still don't
no,
make sense.
like
Yeah.
what you talking about? Like it was just one of them things where it's just like, bro, you got some knowledge, but like that literally don't make sense. There's
Yeah.
no way that somebody else doing bad in a performance makes you look bad in your performance unless you're talking about as a group. Now the
Right.
store ranking, if you up and they down, the average is gonna be here. So the store gonna look like we
Yeah. As a
here.
store,
But
but
individually, no. What are you
it doesn't
talking
make
about?
sense.
I'm just let you talk. You know what? You
Yeah.
got it, bro.
You got it.
You got
I'll let you just talk.
it.
You done? Are you done?
You
Okay.
done?
Did that
Yeah,
make
you
you
still
feel
talking?
better? All right. Um, but no,
No.
it's one of them things where I'm gonna still link what I was saying, but it reminded me of when I was real bored. I was watching
Mhm.
them crime videos where police would be interrogating people, and they would
Like
have
body cam
like
videos
yeah,
and stuff.
like they would have the proof. Like they would be like, bro, this is you. You got the same shirt on right now.
Yeah, you literally got the same
You
jacket.
got the residue on your fingers. We know
Fact.
we know you did it. Just tell it. And
Just tell us why.
they will hold on to their lie to the
So
end,
hard.
bro.
Yeah, the
And
very end.
and that's what it reminds me of when we was talking about, so if we have a conversation, and I always do this when I talk to people, and
Right.
usually once I see them pull back after I show you the analogy, I just say, all right, have a good day. Because there's no point of
Mhm.
us conversating anymore. But when we talk, it's like we're here. Hey, how you doing? Both here. I'm gonna say something to make the conversation progress. And then see if you
Mhm.
progress with me, see if you continue to progress. But sooner or later, I'll give you an example, just like I said at work, because I try to give real examples so that it makes sense to whoever could be watching this. As soon
Right.
as I say, as soon as we start talking about, let's say, oh, what'd you eat last night? Oh, I had boiled chicken and raw green beans. I don't really eat this, y'all. I'm just saying something stupid. But I'll say this, or they'll say I had McDonald's, and I say, oh, okay, that's cool. I had blah blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah, and then they say, oh, and then they just start kind of pulling back, and
yeah,
as soon as that happens, like I'll try to say something to try to make them feel a little bit better, but they'll just keep pulling back. And it's cause it's like they get convicted in real time, and then they
mhm.
know they in their mind having a battle now.
Facts. Now they ashamed of themselves, and they don't know what
And
else they should be ashamed of because they like, oh wait, I don't know. Are you above me? Like I like yeah,
cause
bro.
they know, cause usually when that happens, is cause they know they should be doing something, or they're
Hmm.
unsure of if they should be doing something or not doing something.
Yep.
So then they have that battle in their head, and that goes back to what
I
I was
think.
saying. Oh, was you?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say. I think that's. I hate when people say this because I got mixed opinions on it, but people will say like, oh, uh, they might say quote unquote Christians are so holier than now, or you act like you holier than now. Technically, that's the point.
Yeah, I'm set apart.
Holy means set apart. I'm supposed to be more set
You
apart than somebody. Cause if everybody set apart, then nobody set apart. So I'm supposed to be different than somebody.
yeah,
But at the same time, you're not supposed to get cocky with it, where it's
yeah, the
like
attitude
you
that
can let
comes
your
along
head
with
get
that.
big.
Yeah,
Exactly. You can't think just because you're set apart that you better than somebody. You need the same amount of mercy that somebody else need. You just know a little bit better.
exactly.
That's it, and you acting on it, you know? And I think that's what happens is like when people get that conviction, it's because they know that they should be doing something that is holy, something that is set apart, treating their body with more care, treating their mind with more care, treating people around them with more whatever it is that you're doing wrong, that you know that you just kind of just doing it just to get by, and everybody's made it feel like it's okay. Soon as somebody do something to bring them out of that, now they kind of like, oh, hold on. I'm supposed to be set apart too, but I don't want to do that right now. So like I need you to get
Get
away
away
from me.
from me. Get away
Set
from me.
yourself apart so I can
Yeah,
still be getting along with
exactly.
everybody. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
that's the main thing, because that's why I said, going back to what I said about us, if we're all humans,
mhm,
us spawning in, you get convicted because either one, you think you should be doing the same thing, or you don't know.
yep,
If you know, if somebody comes around you and confirms what you already thought you knew, you get convicted right there, and you're not doing it for a reason, because that's why you keep distracting yourself from that very thing in which you were supposed to do. So you
mhm,
try to get away from them, and a lot of times, what this society will do now is they will at- attack that person for doing the right thing. And I'm gonna give a simple example. And the way I flipped it and turned it on his head was super easy in real time. And literally all you have to do is say the truth. And
mhm.
it's nothing serious. But so I had this, those I don't even got one of the water bottles. You know that brand? It's like
Oh,
what
Walla,
what
Stanley,
nah, it's like it's a water.
Wakia or
It's a
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That Wakia or
Yeah,
whatever water.
Waikiki
That
something.
hey, I ain't gonna lie. That water is fire. That
That's some
water.
good water right there,
I
boy.
really
That
hope that ain't nothing
woo,
wrong with
that
that
blue
water,
bottle.
bro.
It might
Um,
be, but something wrong
but
with
I,
everything at this point.
fact. But I had drank two of them bottles, and they was like, they wasn't like the super big bottles, but they was pretty
Hmm.
decent sized bottles. So it was two decent sized bottles in the recycling like trash bin, right? And one of my coworkers was like, "Dang, you was real thirsty, wasn't you?" And and then it was another one of them bottles on the desk right in front of her, and we was like, and we all know who it was too, because don't
Yup.
nobody else be drinking like the stuff that we. And I was like, it's crazy. People will really make fun of you for like drinking water.
Facts.
People will make fun of you for doing the right
This
thing.
this this the basic life function that you
And
gotta do.
she
Like
said, wait, wait, wait,
you can
wait,
go
wait, wait.
without food and you can just have water. Like
Yeah. She said, wait, 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 wait. That's not what I was trying to do. That's not. And she started trying to like backtrack and stuff. And it's just
backtrack it,
like,
backtrack it.
and
What
I'm
really
just
what
looking
you
at
was
her
doing.
like,
Like, hey. It's
Like, bro,
it's a joke.
you tried your hardest to do this, and I said
Exactly.
I just think it's crazy that you did this, and you immediately got offended. Like you tried to. Oh no no
Exactly.
no 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 no. All right, bro.
Yeah, you
Um,
offended yourself. That's what it really was. Shoot.
X. But yeah, it's it's just interesting how people just they just want to distract themselves so much from seeking out like truth is really what it is. And I don't know what's so scary about it. I don't think it's scary. Maybe it is because I think people just have a control issue at the bottom line because that's what this really boiled down to is control. Um, yeah, maybe I just answered my question right there. Maybe that's why. Um,
Yeah.
but I did find what I was gonna read from
From your script.
my script. Um, and this was regarding what we're supposed to do here and knowing what it is you're supposed to do and how people's identities become in the things that they do or their experiences become their identity. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try to link it all and then segue to another discussion because what I was telling Daryl was it's very interesting what's going on in life, and it's also interesting that in my seeking of the truth, like I was just telling you, I'm having a blast reading and studying things that although they're new and although to a worldly person these things that I'm finding out might be scary to them. Kind of like in I think it's in Corinthians where it says the 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 smell of like I'm gonna just say Yahusha on us is death to somebody who um is not in the way because they can pretty much smell death coming because that is what's
Fact.
promised
I see that.
to you. But
To everybody
um
else.
but anyway, uh where should I start? I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna give you context to what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But I said I spoke in earlier videos about algorithms. They steer you to specific parts of society which are needed to allow this show of life to go on. They're controlling you. They provoke you to be emotional and steer you into where they want you to go. They put food into things that helps this, but you think they are natural cravings. They create problems in society and steer you to a solution that is also created. They make you ultra stressed because of the content the algorithms put inside of you, and then legalize weed, promote alcohol, promote body positivity for the wrong reasons, promote
Mhm.
ignoring life and focusing on money and your career. They do all these different things. They create issues with faulty solutions that society is so blind and entangled in that these faulty solutions becomes people's identities. And now when you shine light on these things and show how futile they are, it seems as though you are attacking the person themselves. So the person begins to defend and hold on to falsehoods about themselves that were forced upon them without their knowledge. And I'm gonna just stop there because it's like in to take it a step further, it's not like it's just random systems or random people that are imposing these things on you. It's a it's a principality. It's a spiritual being that has
Fact.
control over a specific like
Mhm.
um boundary, a different part in this world, right? And jurisdiction is what I should say. And the interesting thing is when you read, and also one thing that I noticed, bro, with the different Bibles that I have,
Mhm.
which I never have ran into this issue before. So I have the Septuagint. Um, I have like all these different Bibles, and some Bibles have chapters and verses. In this like so in the Septuagint, Psalms 81 says something, then Psalms 81 says in another Bible, but that's because they merged two chapters together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, but in the Septuagint, in Psalms 81, it pretty much says, "You rulers who is over men are supposed to be judging men righteously, but instead you will die like men,"
Yep.
proving that there's something outside of men that's over men right now.
Hmm. That's
And
also not supposed to die in the fashion that men die.
exactly, they're not supposed to die. Exactly. So, and that's a great point. When you are listening to something outside of Yahweh, um,
Hmm.
you're listening to something that is fallen and that is going to die.
Facts.
Um, and when you blindly listen to algorithms and you blindly listen to these things and then you compare them to what the word says, it's easily apparent as to what's going on. Um, but the system is so clever that it feeds you these things. You think you're doing these things by your own will, and then it stacks on trauma and it stacks on a solution that's just going to stack on more trauma. And then when somebody comes to shine light on it, they think that you're just attacking themselves instead of, it's not really that you're attacking what they're doing, but you naturally coming around convicts them, because light and dark cannot coexist. So that's why it's it's interesting, and I hold myself to a certain degree, because what I used to do was, I was telling Daryl that um, when you're by yourself and you're in a situation or you're in a relationship by yourself and you don't
Yep.
think that you know everything, you will view how you feel, the emotions, as what's right or what's wrong. So
Okay.
so um let's say you're in a relationship and you standing on what Yah says, right? But
Hmm.
that makes chaos all around you. If you're not sure on what you're doing, you will stop doing what you're doing because what's going
Hmm.
on around you makes you feel like it's not.
Yeah,
That's
you're
why I
gonna
said
chase
it's
your comfortability.
and that's why it's important to know um that you are not your experience. You are not what's going on around you. You are you, and true perspective is you walking in the commandments no matter what's going on around you, so that you can get the true perception of reality. And
Hmm.
but that
When you,
takes
I feel like it also knowing having a more true view on reality helps you contextualize the high and low points better. So like when you know that you're good, if something bad happens based off of that, you can have that faith that okay, I'm still on the right path. However, this is the rough part of that path.
right.
You know, like if you're producing something, let's say I don't know, let's say you're cooking, you might have to chop some onions up, right? But because you chopped some onions and started crying, you might think, "Oh wait, this is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this."
You look
You
at
know what I
the
mean?
look
That's
at
just
the
that's part
that
of the process.
plan. It say chop
I mean,
onions.
chop
I'm supposed
onions,
to chop these.
saute them, and eventually you're gonna get you some real good food. But
Yeah,
because you quit halfway through, you're never gonna get to that point.
yeah,
Um, I think we live in a society that kind of it pushes like even you look at the language you use, the pursuit of happiness.
yeah.
If you're in pursuit of something, that means it's evading you.
Right. You trying to
Period. You know what I mean? You're running after something that you can't obtain. If you're pursuing happiness, that means everything that you're doing is leading you towards trying to get happy but never getting there. It don't say the obtaining happy. It's just pursuing it. So
yeah,
if you just pursuing it, you're gonna do whatever you can to. You're gonna keep trying to get there and faking in your brain that you're comfortable or that you're
right.
good, but you're always gonna be chasing something else. You see that with drugs. You see that with people who work in real estate. You see that with most. You see it with money. I feel
I was
like
about to
it's the
say
biggest.
money, because
But
people still be like, bro, you got this, like somebody like Trump or something. I ain't even gonna
mhm,
bring up Trump because that's gonna whatever.
yeah,
I'm gonna bring up anybody who got money. Dog, you
yeah,
got this much money. You still want more? You talking about
Facts.
generational wealth? How many
What do you
generations, bro?
how many generations do you need to be wealthy?
How many
You don't want them to have, they should put some type of work in for this, shouldn't
something,
they?
bro?
You know what I mean? Or even on top of that, like once you get a certain amount of money and control, right? Because I feel like it's really the power that comes behind the money. So
Yeah,
that's I feel like this is my feeling. I can't really support it fully, but the love of money is the root of all evil, is what the scriptures say, right? When you love money, the only thing that I can think of is that you love the power that comes with money and the autonomy that comes with money. Because when you got enough money, it's not that you just love having paper or having gold coins on you. You love what you can do with it. And what you can do with it is exude your will onto other people or onto your situation without
right.
having to get checked on it.
Exactly.
Um,
And can I cut you off?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
It's the power and the authority, or
Mhm.
otherwise power, control.
Yep.
Every single
It's
thing that,
crazy. We already have that authority, but we
yeah,
gotta submit to somebody to get it, and
exactly,
people don't want to do
exactly.
that.
And that's what I was gonna say, because we have authority on the earth. We already have the authority, but we have to go to somebody to get that power. And to get the power,
Mhm.
you have to submit, but that doesn't mean you don't have authority still. So, and when you think about every single thing, and that's where I was saying that people will promote everything that is that I'm gonna say the principalities put on us is a
Mhm.
false sense of those things. So most people who go to the gym that I talk to, they don't want to go to the gym for health. That might be a
Like
part
a
of it,
byproduct.
but that's not their main idea. The main idea is to look good. Now, what do you
Mhm.
do when you look good? If you're a man or a woman, I was just talking to Daryl about this. What
Yeah.
what happens is when you're a man or a woman that looks good, people who are not secure in themselves, you're naturally coded. So usually people have to check the facts of what you're saying to listen to you. There's
Mhm.
there's there's two things that I could think of off the top of my head which will make somebody not do that. One is the appeal to authority,
Mhm.
and good looks. Appeal
Yep.
to authority is if you're my mom, my pastor, my brother, my friend, my whatever, because you're
Mhm.
this and I have this sort of respect for you, then I'm gonna listen to whatever you're saying, regardless of what you're saying, simply because you're this person.
Yep.
Um, the and then the looks thing, going back to what I said, when it's a choice thing, whenever something is coded into you, people will just submit to that because they believe that's them.
Yeah. You
If
have
I look
the look of prosperity, so people will believe what you're saying because it looks like it's working out for you.
exactly,
That
exactly,
money is that look, physical wellness is that look, wealth is that, like if you got cars or a big house or you got a bad girlfriend, anything that people look at and say, I want to obtain that, but I don't have it. That's what I feel like people, if they see that you have it, they're more willing to listen to you. Personally, I feel like we are being led as a society to treat each other as products to consume.
right,
Um,
yeah,
and when you consume something, you throw it away. You done with it. You know what I mean? But I feel like you take like OnlyFans. A lot of women are getting themselves in shape or doing certain things to make themselves look a certain type of way to exercise their power and authority over somebody's lust,
exactly,
right?
which exactly what I
To
was
get
saying.
something out of it. If you're
Yeah,
a male, you might go to the gym, but all this is doing is we're increasing our sexual value to become more of a commodity. If
yeah,
people want you more, then you got more power in this world. And I feel like
exactly,
everybody's doing that,
because
just trying to get more.
they'll give up their, like, if I look good, and I was also talking to one of my friends about this. If I
Mhm.
look good,
You go back on your morals when somebody
you
look good.
yeah, you're gonna throw away everything that you got, everything that you think, because when you look at, so I'm gonna use conversations for example, and I'm also tell you about, I pretty much was telling him for a long time, I would not like getting my hair done, and I would not like looking good going out in public
Mhm.
on purpose, because I would notice what it does to people. Because I've been on the opposite end of it, where when I was younger and I was less secure in myself, I shouldn't say in myself, and yeah, where if somebody look good, like somebody
Mhm.
look good and they walk in the room, I naturally feel something. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang.
Like, I wanna
All
help them.
and all
I wanna show them why I matter to them,
facts,
like
and all I looked at was how they look. It overrode
mhm,
everything else
everything
because this
else.
person could have been a serial killer. You don't
Facts.
know. But it overrode everything in me simply because of that. I just gave all my power to this person without them even knowing it. And
Mhm,
because I knew that, and I also, going back to when I said I would have conversations with people and I would watch them pull back or watch them do certain things, I would
mhm,
notice it's easy when I stare, because sometimes even when I'm having a conversation, I look at people, I don't look them in their eyes, because when I do that, most people I look directly in their eyes. But a lot of times when I
yeah,
do that, I can see when somebody gets kind of like infatuated with you. And then when
mhm.
that happens, they're no longer really listening to you. They're just, it's like
They're trying to absorb a part of you. Yeah.
they're hypnotized at this point, and the
Facts.
conversation doesn't go anywhere because you're not even truly yourself. You're like, you're woozy right now, like you drunk off of
Yeah.
whatever. And when I would get my hair done and I would go into a room or I would try to talk to
Mhm.
people, ain't nobody even talking to me, or you feel so, you've put me on this pedestal where you can't even really fully be you because you
You
so
can't
worried
accept
about,
me or
like you looking
facts.
at you, like you looking at me and you like, dang it, am
Do
I
I look clean
do I
enough?
look good
Do I
enough to
look good?
talk
Is
to this
my hair
person?
alright?
And
Like,
it's like, dog, I
yeah.
don't care about that. I'm just getting, I'm taking care of myself because I need to take care of myself, bro. You don't need
Mhm.
to do this. But I mean,
Facts.
I've gotten out of that, but I do notice that I have to treat people a certain, and I like, especially
Mhm.
for our job, because if I didn't keep myself in check, when I would notice that talking to certain individuals and I know they're infatuated with me, we on commission.
Now Imma get some out of it,
I'm
like,
gonna just run. I'm gonna
yeah.
run up this bill. I'm gonna get all type of stuff, but I
Right.
ain't. That's not
You
who I
want
am.
3 watches? You could wear one on one wrist,
Oh
one
yeah,
other
yeah,
one,
yeah,
and
yeah,
put
yeah.
it on your ankle, actually.
Facts.
Sure, yeah, I could do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'll
Hey,
just do
man,
that.
keep a bill high.
They're
Like,
like, oh, and then 3 months later, my bill's $370. Yeah,
mhm, yeah,
you don't remember saying yes to
you
all
don't
this?
remember? Facts.
Yeah, because you was infatuated, like you was tripping back then.
Mhm.
But like, um, but yeah, um, I'm gonna go into what I was gonna talk about next though. The kind of like what we was talking about before we got on here. I was
Mhm.
telling, bro, it's interesting in my thing. When you was talking about the pursuit of happiness, what came to my mind was like the kingdom of heaven is already like
Yeah.
within you,
Facts.
and like you got peace that surpasses others. Because I wanna close out what I was saying, just in case, because
Yeah.
sometimes people watching this, and I think sometimes me and you talk so fast, we don't close out on an idea. And I want to close out on this
Mhm.
for anybody who might not know the closing statements for these things. So the pursuit of happiness, I want you to be able to cast down all thoughts that are above Yahusha or Yahuwah, right? Um, the pursuit of happiness, the kingdom of heaven is already within you. So there is no pursuit of happiness. When you do that, when you have the pursuit of happiness, and we're talking about people on this earth are all just looking for a distraction, to keep them going. And usually the anxiety or fear, which is you just not being in control or not knowing what's next or not knowing what's going on, will make you do these, I'm gonna say stupid things, but these distractions, all these things that kind of put you in a bad situation. Um,
Defense
you
mechanism.
right, defense mechanism. You would be able to get out of that, if you knew 100% why you was here. And if you knew 100% why you was here, you would have a peace that surpasses all understanding, which is why during even the times when you think stuff is going bad, you would still have a peace within those different times. So I'm just saying all that to close out what we was talking about, just in case we went too fast and it went over somebody's head. But next topic. Um, what I was saying was, in my pursuit of truth, because truth is something I think is, I said in my first video, it's a mountain, bro. You ain't finna be able to absorb all this. Y'all, it's too much truth in all this. You only a vessel. You only a cup, bro. You can make your
Keep
cup
in mind
bigger.
that love, so Yahoo is love, right?
Right.
Love is always going to multiply. If you look at anything within our physical realm, the spiritual realm, the physical follows the spiritual realm. Physical realm, anything that is coated with love, that is pure, that is straight from Him, is gonna multiply. You look at an apple tree. You got one apple seed that turned into one tree that make 500 apples. Each of them 500 apples make 500 more trees. It's just gonna
Facts.
keep growing. So you talking about truth as a mountain? We at the base of a mountain trying to absorb the whole thing, and that mountain literally always grows. So
Yeah.
there is no way to absorb all of it. I've used the analogy for people where I feel like no matter how much I live or how much knowledge I get or whatever, I feel like if you were to take, I don't know, like a cable, right? Let's take this. Yeah, that's good enough. You take any type of string or something, right? I feel like there's a knot in the middle, and that's where you exist. There's your past and there's your future, and you're aware of this much and this much. As you start to learn and grow and everything, as long as you don't do it the wrong way and start to get cocky in your knowledge and stuff, you just recognize that okay, there's so much that I have been through and so much that I've learned, but the more that you learn, you realize, okay, there's so much more for me to figure out. So now the string is this big, you still dead in the middle of it, but there's it's exponentially growing, and you always somewhere right in the middle where it's like, okay, this is
Yeah.
where I came from, and there's a lot more back there, but there's a lot more this way too.
Right.
Um, I always feel like personally that I'm stuck in the middle, and stuck sounds bad, but it's a good thing because it means that I'm in my purpose. If I'm in what I'm supposed to be doing, I shouldn't move. I'm solid. I'm right here where I'm supposed to be submitted to and lined up with Yahoo and everything. But
When you say stuck, I
I,
want to say I don't want to say stuck because anything that you see
stuck's
that
the
gets
wrong
stuck
word.
dies. But like you're
Facts.
constantly moving as it's moving.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
you're
always
moving
going
at the
forward,
same pace that
but
it's
the
growing.
road is getting longer too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Um.
exponentially growing too, is what I say.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um. In my pursuit, because as I just said, as I shouldn't say truth is growing, but like as you're moving, it's moving. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I ain't gonna try
Mhm.
to get too into
Your
the
your
semantics of
view
the
of
words and
truth
stuff.
expands. I won't say truth is growing, but your view of it expands because you start
Yeah.
to see more and more and more, and
Um.
you realize that it's so infinite that you can't get it all.
Right. Some people who don't, because I wanna land this first. You have to understand, and this is my view. This is my belief. The reason why that is because you're getting prepared for eternity. If you're
Hmm.
prepared for eternity, you have to get used to moving, like constantly
Yes.
being on the like go, because there's no, you don't die, you don't go to sleep. Like maybe I'm sure there's time to rest or something, but like you know what I'm saying, like you're preparing for eternity. There's no, nah, I just
Yeah,
want to go sin real quick. No, you can't do that once we're in
can't do
eternity. So that's
that.
that's why I'm saying like you have to get used to that. So in my pursuit, or in me seeking, continuing to seek Yah, I'm in situations which I never thought that I would ever have to even question, um that I thought just never mattered. But
Yeah.
now that I have true perspective, for some reason these topics are actually coming up.
Hmm.
And I have to put thought to them. And I'm like, wow, I never thought I would be thinking about something like this, and this would actually matter. So for example, um, like aliens, is Earth flat?
Hmm.
2 years ago, 1 year ago, maybe 6 months ago, why does this matter? Does this matter? People are like, oh, you guys think aliens exist? Does it matter?
Yeah.
It's not until I know, until I Hebrews 5:14 is pretty much saying like you have to train up this certain type of discernment. When you do that, you get to test each narrative that's pushed out to the masses to see where it's come from and where it's leading people. You can only get that through training up the discernment. And inside of that is leading me to train the narrative of aliens. Is making me test the narrative of flat Earth versus a globe Earth, or the narrative of the war, the narrative of politics, the narrative of all this stuff that I never ever cared about. I never cared about politics. I never cared about aliens for real. I never cared about is Earth flat or not. That didn't matter. The Earth being flat or not, I don't care. I never
Regardless, I'm
cared.
gonna live my life. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? It's one of them things where it's like I care enough to question it, but not enough to like seek it out. Cause it's like even if I figure out what's it gonna change about my life.
Exactly. Exactly. And not until so like now, and what I was trying to explain to Dare, I was like, the reason why what's going on right now is so important, and why I have to actually test this idea now, is because if aliens exist and the Bible is not true, there's no reason not to listen to them, because this is a failing system. And that's the main reason why it's you have to kind of like go, I gotta figure out what it is I believe, because if the Bible is true, you shouldn't be listening to them. However, the things in which they're gonna tell you from the perspective of somebody who has no truth in them is gonna look very enticing. It's gonna look very good.
Let me correct you. You should not listen to them if they tell you a different gospel than the one that was preached to us before, to our forefathers.
Right.
If they come down saying exactly what the Bible say,
yeah, my bad.
cool.
You're right, because I was gonna,
You know what I mean?
I should say, let me finish this conversation, because you are 100% right.
Just in case, I got
exactly, exactly what I told him. That's why I say sometimes I'll be talking too fast and I
even in
don't let stuff.
Deuteronomy, it literally say like, "Hey, people might come to you who dream dreams and they true, like they might prophesy something and they come to pass. Cool, but
Yeah,
if they tell you, soon as they tell you, hey, worship a God that your ancestors didn't know, cut them off.
exactly,
That's the marker right there. So
exactly.
if with anything that happens, it don't matter who it is. It could be an alien, it could be a spirit, I don't care who it is. If you tell me to worship Yahusha, cool. He deserve it. Bet.
Yeah,
You tell me who is the one living God, cool. As soon as you say something else,
yeah.
you
Like
might be
if
right on all this other stuff, but I'm throwing it all away because you was
facts,
wrong on this one. Like,
facts.
yeah, I'm good.
What I think what I had told him was, I said, since you have true perspective, you know that all you gotta do is know the laws, and like know the laws, commandments, statutes, ordinance, all those, and just do them. And then whatever come here, if it's telling you to do something outside of that, then it's not true. And that's why I think I had told him, somebody gonna come in his own name with no proof to back up whatever he's saying, and people gonna listen because they don't really,
Because
they
he don't
don't
know
know
about the
nothing.
knowledge.
And they gonna sound good, and people get swayed by all the, like, even right now.
I think that's why podcast blew up so crazy lately. Because
Yeah,
like
because I think
people
that's
love just
even the
listening
thing.
to ideas and hoping that somebody else is right about
People
something.
get
That's it.
swayed
Like,
about any and every doctrine nowadays, and it's like it's predictive I shouldn't say predictive programming, because it's not like, kind of is. It's kind of, it's getting you ready
programming,
to yeah, it's just programming. It's getting you ready to accept something by throwing it at you. And I think the example I gave him was, I was like, if you watch a movie and in the beginning of the movie they say, oh yeah, and it's a guy on a spaceship or something, don't ever press this red button right here because this red button does this, blah 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 blah. But and then the movie keeps going. Sometime in the movie that button is gonna get pressed.
that button
Foreshadowing.
get pressed and you see what happens.
So in life, when you see that, when you see randomly something just starts blowing up out of nowhere, because podcasts out of nowhere start blowing up, and all they do is feed different doctrines and different doctrines and different doctrines.
Especially look
and
at
different.
Joe Rogan podcast. All he doing is talking about what could be, and then bringing on people who's got more expertise than you. I'll say,
Right.
because if you can be very well trained in the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So people come on this podcast who's supposed to be experts and will talk to you about whatever it is, and you listen to him question it, and they got to answer for it, and you don't know what questions to even ask to disprove it. So you just like,
Yeah.
oh, it sound right. So everything you hear, you like, oh, they might be right. Oh, this might be right. What you listening to that for? You ain't even solid in nothing. Like you need to turn that
Facts.
off.
Turn that off. You don't even know what you believe, bro. And then
Facts.
anything that somebody tells you, they can make it sound good, no matter what. Like
Mhm.
somebody just gotta have the charisma, that charisma
Yeah.
attribute on 99, and you're cooked.
Mhm.
Everybody's gonna be cooked just because you got the charisma attribute. And
Facts. The same way
the
that like the Bible says like we supposed to like constantly be in the word. The word is referred to as like the bread of life. You know what I'm saying? Like eating and doctrine are very very similar as far as their function, right? It's something you live off of.
eat it,
You
digest it,
you feel me?
let it
You
get
look
through your
at
bones.
even the dietary laws, right? You can easily make shrimp taste good. You could easily make whatever you want taste. You season it the right way, you cook it the right way, it's gonna taste like food. It's gonna taste like something you want. But is it serving your body the way that good food is supposed to?
Yeah,
No. Why? Because it was never ordained as food, even though you're trying to use it for that purpose. The same thing with them doctrines you hear. They might sound good, they might taste good, they might be sweet when you ingest them, but now your stomach is messed up.
now you got parasites in you because you
You know what
done
I mean?
ate
You twisting and turning the bed, you can't
bugs.
sleep, you ate bugs and like, you know what I mean? You eating
Yeah,
sea roaches. Like it's just
exactly.
it's one of them
Facts.
things where I feel like I get stuck between I was just talking to my coworker about it, where like I get stuck between I care so much, but I know certain things are supposed to happen. So how do I exist within prophecy, but then still try to act out my purpose, knowing that people I could do whatever I'm supposed to do, and
You
a
sound like
majority
Ezra.
of people is you said what?
You sound like Ezra, bro.
Yeah,
This is what he was
I
saying.
literally like I can do what I'm supposed to do, but like how do I how do I move in my purpose knowing that the majority of people is still gonna die?
Yeah.
And that been my thing lately, where it's like I've been stuck on that, and I've been
You
reading
you lit
Psalms back to back to back to back to back to
when
back.
you said you was about to read Ezra, I
Mhm.
think all your questions would be answered if you study or finish
Really
the
dig
book.
into it. Facts. I've
Because
already read through multiple times, and listened to it multiple times, and those questions they're answered, but you know sometimes something you know, but you ain't figured out the way to live through that no yet.
yeah, it still take a, like
That's
you,
different.
even though you know, you still gotta have that renewing of your mind,
Facts.
which is really
Yeah.
what it boils down to. It's like
I gotta
you ate
digest
it,
it.
you gotta digest it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and to take it a step further, when you eat, you digest. What you digest becomes the wall to block off the things of life. So it's like that's where your body. And I was trying to explain to bro, I could explain to you truth in so many different ways, in so many different forms, and um, the more I'm able to do it, the more connections I make, the more new things I do in life, the more I'm able to explain it to even another person or in other things. And when I find out it's everywhere, and I find out that because it's everywhere, there is really no excuse, it makes
Mhm.
it easier for me. I'm not saying that I don't care that people will perish, but it makes it
Yeah.
easier for me to get over
To
the
let
fact
that go kind of thing. Cause
to let
like
it go. Cause it's like,
just because I couldn't get you don't mean something else might not. Cause there's a
exactly.
million ways. And even then, it's your choice. So even if something does get to you, you have to choose whether you want to drink that water or
Yeah.
not. I can't make that decision for you. Even though I want you to take it, I can't do it for you. So like
Yeah.
that'd be one thing where sometimes it's hard to accept that part. I ain't gonna say it's hard to live through it, but it's hard to accept that you can't save nobody sometimes. Like you might
Yeah.
really want to teach somebody something, but it's their choice. And that's the beautiful thing about life, because can't nobody take your choice away. So
Right.
can't nobody take your choice away. That means y- nobody can pull you away from the love of Yah.
Right.
Beautiful.
I'm just choosing to
However,
do this. Yeah.
only you can pull you away from the love of Yah. So it's
Right.
like, dang, I can't do nothing for you, little
It's
boy. I can plant a
the way
seed. That's
he
it.
put this together is so beautiful. And that's what
Facts.
it's funny because that's all me and bro be talking about. Like we will talk and then we end it with, this is amazing, bro. This is beautiful
Mhm.
how this whole system works. And I I'm still wrestling with ideas in my head because they're lining up. I just don't have any. I don't have. I learned a new word, cogent. I don't have cogent.
Define it for the people.
So cogent is like truth that's not that. So if something is cogent, like if there's a cogent argument, um, it's widely accepted as truth. But if something is not cogent, that doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means that it's not widely accepted. Um, so I have things in my head that I believe are not cogent, but it doesn't mean that they're not true. But because I can't really uh give you the full proof to like show you that this is true, I can only show you that it's valid.
Hmm.
Um, and valid being the stuff that I'm gonna say makes sense, but you really
It's
don't
up to
know
you
for
to
sure
search out the
if it's
information.
true. Um,
Yeah.
if my thought process on what happened prior to us being here in this world is true, it's lining up with everything new that I'm learning, but it's not going it's not me trying to force it, because what I'm trying to do is expel anything that is not of Yah out of my head, and I try to forget it. um I won't even dwell on it for real. But the more I learn, the more that idea keeps popping back in my brain, and it's lining up with what is going on, which is um I think I had talked about before how prior to us being here, I believe that there must have been some sort of rebellion or something that was going on. And the fix was Yah's gonna make an earth and he gonna say, hey y'all, just trust me. And I'm gonna go back to what mom said today. And I'm gonna try to show you how it keeps popping up in my brain. And I'm like, is this really what happened? Um,
Hmm.
where mom was explaining, and I said, this is what I'm hearing you say, mom. You wasn't seeing the vision,
Hmm.
but now
But now
you see
you
the
see.
vision and you
Yeah.
like, wow, ain't that what's happening with us every single time we have a conversation? And you
Hmm.
go, wow, you really thought of all this, yeah. And my thing is, that's why I said I believe that, because you talk about how like you could have been like an army general or something. Maybe we was generals.
Hmm.
If you look at the word, when Yasharel went through everything they went through, afterwards Yasharel was soldiers. They still remained
Facts.
as soldiers within the kingdom, and then
Facts.
everybody else was slaves in there. I don't want to get into that slave conversation where people talk, oh, well, the other
Yeah.
nations are going to be slaves and all this. I'm not trying
Facts.
to hear that right now because you have no idea what that means.
Even were
That could
slaves when he
be,
was
I was
very
going to
well,
say,
and after 7 years, you could just be a bond. Like, yeah,
exactly. And
that's a different
even on
conversation. You
top,
part of the family. Like,
even on top of that, people might think that, because some people think that slaves are the other nations being people. What if these other
mhm,
slaves are angels?
yeah,
Because we're going to be
different
judging
types of
we're going to be
exactly.
judging angels. So the people who are so stuck on Edomites, bro, go like, I don't really want to talk about
Like,
it. I
I
get it.
understand you
I
having a
get what you're
zeal for
saying.
scripture, but there's a bigger picture at play. And
And
there's like I think everybody has things that they kind of latch onto for sure. Like some things really, really interest you and like you really want to spread that message. But you cannot you need to confirm scripture with more scripture, and you can't pull it away from the context.
right,
Yes, there are these scriptures all throughout the Bible, right? But there's also scriptures all throughout the Bible that if you're saying you believe it, this is a part of it. My house will be a house of prayer for all nations. When Israel left out of Egypt, and we talking about the second Exodus being the same exact thing. When Israel left, it was a mixed multitude. He gave them the instructions when he was giving them instructions for like Passover stuff. If you got a stranger in your house and he want to take it with you, circumcise him. He part of it. He gonna be just like he was born with y'all. There's gonna be separate
exactly.
laws for people who was born in the nation and people who join later, but they are still just like somebody who's a part of the nation. So if anybody want to get in the family, they in it. That's all it is.
Exactly. You can't
You
pick and
can't just say, oh,
choose.
because of their skin color, they gone. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand you mad about your ancestors. I am too. But
Yeah.
like, let go of your need to correct something and grab onto Yah's vision for how this is supposed to work out.
Exactly. Because I do believe when people talk about, and I was telling bro about this a little bit. I was like, do I believe that it is true that Yah said, do not do this, do not do this with these nations, do not do this.
Mhm,
However, do not allow the fruit of them to be the judge of what's going on. You cannot throw everybody in this big lump sum. I
mhm,
would never do that. And I would never say that it don't matter, because once again, you talk about Yahusha. Yahusha did call somebody a dog.
mhm.
We cannot forget about that. So
Cannot forget about that.
we do have to be serious about what we're saying,
When
but we
she
cannot.
accepted that role, he still blessed
He's
her
still
more than he
blessed
blessed
her.
some other people who
Exactly.
was
That's why I
blessed.
said you can't pick and choose. Like, you got to take it all. You can't pick and choose. And to finish the point in which I was saying though, um, I think that we might be judging, because I think it's Peter that talks about we gonna be judging the angels.
Mhm,
The angels is scared of us for what? Maybe it's some, I don't know. I don't know what's going on yet. But all I'm saying was, after Yasharel made it out and they were in the kingdom, they remained soldiers. My theory, my belief is, prior to this, we was in some sort of rebellion, or we wasn't in a rebellion, but we were fighting in a rebellion, and you was a soldier, you was something then. That's why you're also that in this life. It just don't look like you out here like going out in a US Army or
yeah.
something like that. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like the characteristics of that remained. However, to get you to your prior estate, you have to be trusting in Yah for him to wake that part of you up, kind of thing.
Right.
And the closer I get to him, the more I see aspects of myself where I'm like, yo, I know that I'm as I don't like saying scared, but as hesitant and as serious as I look at the role of leading people, I know that that's the calling on my life. I don't know what form that takes yet.
Right.
I don't know if that's as a teacher or as a I know I gotta make disciples, but I don't know if that's living my life and people follow me. I don't know if that's I start some type of open up some type of center and people, you know what I mean? I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I know that I need to have the courage to walk out on that faith of, okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you take over. Tell me what to do. Tell me where to be at. Um, and to not be afraid to listen to him. Because if I'm gonna be a general, if I'm leading people, I can't be hesitating at all. If I hesitate and he gave me a command, I might get 500 people killed. Or
Facts.
he gave me a command and I hesitate or I say it the wrong way to them or whatever, people gonna die, and that's on me.
Yeah.
I can't let that happen. So it's like, okay, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever you gotta do to put me to get me to that spot. And some people you say whatever you gotta do, and people think, okay, it's gonna be something bad. It might be something good for real. He
Yeah.
might. That's why I'm feeling about vacation right now. I'm about to go on vacation for people who listening, and it's my first time going on vacation by myself. And like my mom a little hesitant about it. I'm a little anxious about it to be real, but like I'm trying to work out that them kinks of I want to be able to not worry about nobody else's opinion. And I've always been able to do that my whole life. So it's crazy now. But not worry about nobody else's opinion, nobody else's influence on me. I just want to be able to be alone with Yah, and then whatever I gotta do, I do. And if people follow me, cool. If they don't, cool. But I'm gonna be submitted to Him. So I'm going on vacation so that I could just look at the earth that He made and enjoy the
Yeah.
stuff that He's showing me, and just be with Him. Nobody else gonna be there with me. I ain't gotta answer nobody. I ain't gotta ask somebody no question. I don't gotta overthink and try to lead somebody and make sure they happy. And oh, we should go do this next. Or oh, this party. I remember we gotta do it. Like it's just me.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. I'm
It
excited.
remind it remind me of, so the last song that I uh not the last song. The song that I just finished, because it's low key been finished, but I redid some parts. When I changed the last 4 lines, where I was
Mhm.
like, abandoned from the start. Still working out how to be alone, allowing y'all to change my heart. Something. I forgot what I said next, but I pretty much said, I'm sorry I've been distant, y'all. This time I'm coming home. It's like, um, oh, that's what I said. I think I said I was ain't trying to be another clone, controlled by the trauma deep inside of other souls. That's what I said. Controlled by the trauma deep in other people's souls. Yes. Um, Pretty much like for the longest, because we were talking about how this was off the call, low key. We are, even though we feel like me and you are together or whatever, realistically, I'm only in my head. I don't know. You might be
Mhm.
a very well coded bot still, for all I know. So it's really just me and Yah. But
Yeah.
until it's really you and Yah, you're being controlled. This is why I said you have to make one assumption that people are people. When you follow what any and everybody else is doing, and you know people are just controlled by the traumas that they have never dealt with, that's all you're
Mhm.
doing.
Facts.
And it's really demons when when you when you get or fallen ones, I should say, when you really get to it, to the crux of everything.
Facts.
And so now once you get back to that, that's why I said in the very beginning, learning how to be alone. Like this all comes back to you have to learn how to be okay with just you and Yah. And then once you're able to do that, everything is so peaceful. But then again, you still have to learn how to like do it. Like you still gotta walk through that door. Every time I talk about truth, I talk about there being that door that it's a door, you can just look at it. I mean, everybody be looking at the door, but not that many people actually go in that door because that door is very narrow. It squeezes you and it presses you and it does all these different things. And it's not really comfortable for people. And the last thing I'm gonna say is, um, I like making music because of what we was just talking about. And this is all what I'm saying right now. Do not stamp truth to the amount of dimensions that I'm about to say. Um, I do know there's multiple heavens. Even in Second Ezra's, the I'm gonna just preface it like this: you don't understand the physical thing. How can you understand the heavenly thing?
Facts.
Um,
Facts.
so like, um,
There's different layers to it.
there's different layers to us in general. Us being who we are, um we three-dimensional beings is what we like to say. That's what science says, I guess, right? We got our senses, we can walk, we could do all these different things. Now if you go a layer before that, you just have a shadow which does not have none of these things, right?
Mhm.
Now if you go above that, you you don't even know what to think because
You can't even
uh,
conceptualize
you can't even
what you know.
conceptualize it, and you trying to conceptualize it diminishes it. Like you're doing it a
A
disservice,
disservice.
trying
Yeah.
to do that. And then to think that there's how many layers above. So like, let me put it to you like this: if you're three-dimensional and you're controlling your shadow, the shadow does not know it's being controlled. It's just doing stuff. It's just
Mhm.
following what's in the higher dimension. When you go
Mhm.
way up to whatever the maximum is, and you understand that something way above is actually in control of us, you you should just have some sort of, you should just marvel at how much you don't know and how much you're really not gonna understand.
Mhm.
But um even inside of that thing, I can't lose this. I can't lose this one, bro. I
You got
can't
it. You
lose
got
this
it. You
one.
got
Um
it.
I'm talking about the dimensions. Oh, my music. Okay.
Mhm.
Um when I make music, every single time I make music, revelation happens later on, and the song tells a story about that um even though I wrote it in the past, which kind of is like going along with what I'm saying, that when I'm really in tune with the creator, I believe that that naturally aligns, which makes it so that he can tell me something in the past and the future. I don't know if that makes sense. Um
Yeah,
like
it makes
it's because it's back to back to back to back to, like, it keeps happening. Even the song, that's the first song that I have redone, because I
mm-hmm.
didn't really redo it. I just redid that verse. How did that verse tell me something that is happening like right now? And then even in
Yeah.
that, some of the music that I have listened to, I listen to it. Okay, because I notice that this happens, and I try not to manipulate stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a song, like the last song that I just put out. I make the song, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, what's gonna happen next in my life?" and then I listen to the song, and I'm like, "What?
Hold on.
What's what I'm talking about? What am I talking
Yeah,
about? What am I
that's the
saying right
most
here?"
beautiful part about like when you can make music, and I feel like that's something that might be a something that's attached to our bloodline or something. I don't know what it is. Because our grandpa made music, our pops is into music, we making music. You know, we might have taken it a little bit further than somebody, but um, when you, if you, how do I say this? You can tell the difference between when you are doing something and you're just doing it by your own strength, or when you're letting something else influence you from a higher dimension or a higher power, right? You
Right.
can feel the difference, you could tell the difference. When you make a song and you finish that song and you could tell like, yo, this wasn't fully me. Like
Yeah.
this was something else is behind this, you know. It's a beautiful thing. And when you know that that thing behind it is the creator that you serving, it lets you look at it almost as prophecy. Like
Yeah.
this is something that is a phenomena that we have no control over. It's something that's outside of our dimension that's kind of leaving its fingerprints on this one. Um, and that's a beautiful thing to go through. I've definitely made songs where I'm just like, yo, that you helped me fix something that I've been trying to fix for 20 years
Yeah.
just by making a song in 20 minutes. I've been working
Exactly.
on this my entire life and trying to get rid of these old the crumbs of some mess, and you
Exactly.
just swept them away just like that.
Just like
Or
that.
you know what I mean? Or you showed me something new about my identity that I didn't even realize it. Like I'm sitting here writing bars out and you put it together. You put this on my pen.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this makes so much sense. What the heck? Like
Yeah.
the same was talking about like the more connections you make in your brain, the more capacity you have to understand more things, and to take in more things, so y'all can fill up your cup that much higher.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it's beautiful to watch, bro. And like even watching you get into music, it's like, yeah, I know somebody else who can understand this now. Cause I
Yeah.
got people who make music with me that I've made music with, but might not be on the same wavelength. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or might be in a different spot in they walk that's like, okay, you are picking up these same concepts, but in a different way. I know with you, it's a little bit closer to what I've been through. So it's easier to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah. And it's really hard. Sometimes I know, like, when I make music now, um I think I will only make certain music with certain
Mhm.
people, because I often cry when I make music. And
I feel
sometimes
that.
it's not even that I'm sad. It's one of those, like, I'm in awe type of things,
Facts.
and then I just cry. Because like you said, I know this wasn't even like really me, and it just, I look at crying, because like I said in the very beginning of this, or like we said in the very beginning,
Mhm.
I'm not my experience. Um, I'm not me crying. Crying is just something
Mm.
that is like a marker to tell me something. And usually when
Yeah.
I cry, something just happened that I might not be able to really see. I might not be able to put words to it, but I know something just happened, because otherwise, why am I crying? Um, and that's what people need to see, instead of, oh no, I'm just a crybaby. Like, all right,
Mhm.
whatever. And but you do have to understand that during certain times you might be vulnerable. So like, I know if I cry and I might be vulnerable in a certain spot, I'm not gonna be doing that like around. just anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody. Yeah.
Um, so there is it's just I don't know, it's just beautiful. But
Yeah.
I also think we about to be done in a second because
Yeah, I'm saying we had
it's
about an hour
like
25 right now.
um I think I recommend. Remember how you were saying you want to do a speed run or something like that?
Mhm.
I recommend you do something like that because when I used to play Call of Duty competitively,
Yeah.
you can't doing something like that to that degree will show you how serious things are. Um
Yeah.
Not like I need to go beat somebody up if I fail, but you'll see how one minuscule mistake will
Mhm.
cause everything
Cost
to
you the whole thing.
everything. Cause like you can see that in like people who play or do anything to the highest degree, they all understand these things. People who do not, it's easy for me to tell somebody who um has done anything to a high degree based off of the small amount of detail that they or the detail that they pay attention to.
Put into stuff. Yeah.
Um that they put into stuff, yeah. Because doing something like a speed run, you accidentally don't hit this, you actually turn away before you break this piece of wood, destroys your one 1.29 seconds off the speed run, which
Mhm.
could be the difference between you being in first place or
A world
16th.
record in 10th place. Facts. Like,
So like something as small as that, and then when I was playing Call of Duty, you got to think like everybody love money. Everybody be doing everything for money and stuff. So me playing for money. If you playing something like Search and Destroy, and there's a nade spot, you gotta wait specifically till the time hits 1.25 to throw your nade up in the sky. And if you
mhm.
would have hit this nade, you win the game. If you don't hit this nade, you lose $2
They
million.
defuse
dollars. You know what I'm
facts.
saying? Like something like that. So that's
That
why
make it more physical for like they can really conceptualize like, oh, I
it,
lost that much money off of that. Like,
yeah, and
yeah, that's how
it's
life is. It get that deep. Like,
exactly, and you won't know certain things like this. Like once you have made that connection in life, it's gonna make you'll use that to connect it to other things. Like even to the scriptures, you might keep sinning because you ain't never done nothing serious in your life, and you think it don't really matter because, like I said, you ain't done nothing in your life. Once you take something serious and you see, oh no, I really gotta lock in like this, and then you take that
and
same
stay
thing
locked in.
to scripture and go, I can't sin because if
Oh,
I sin when I'm in eternity, this is a no
yeah,
go.
facts.
This will cause, because look at the angels. Look what happened when they sinned. Look at us.
Mhm. You feel me?
I think in the second Ezra, he said when sin was put into the world because of Adam, marvel at how much sin has sprung up from this.
From there.
And he pretty much said, I want you to just sit back and marvel for a second. Like he said, he not saying that word for word,
Think
but
about it.
he
Like,
pretty much
yeah.
said, because he said it at first and he said, now just marvel. And then he kept saying stuff. And then to think that Ezra was written to gotta be over probably like 3,000 years ago.
Mhm.
Because I don't know the exact date when it was written. Because I think it said it was 300. It was found in like the first or second AD or something. I gotta do that because I don't want to say nothing that's false. It was found at a certain spot, but Ezra himself was alive before Yahusha, and he was alive way before Malachi. And I think Malachi was written. Malachi was the last prophet before there was that silent
Or,
period, and I think that
yeah.
was like I think it was like 500 BC or something when he was alive or something like that. So,
Mhm.
and Ezra's was before him. So I'm just gonna guess and say 2,500 to 3,000 years ago, and the angel was saying it back there. Look how much wickedness has sprung forth from
Mhm.
this one evil seed back then. Now we 3,000 years later. Now look at it like
Look
even
at it even
more.
more. It's
So
the
then
same thing just compounded on itself even more, like,
exactly. So yeah, it's just amazing times we're living in. I'm just waiting
overall,
on.
y'all just gotta sit back and be in awe for a second,
Yeah,
and
you
then
just gotta
move after
sit back.
that, and then take a day. I like to take my Sabbath days to sit back and just be in awe, just to look
Yeah,
at life and go, look how crazy this is, look how amazing this is, look how beautiful this is, look how lovely this is, look how scary this is. But
yeah,
I got something I don't need to be afraid. Like, you know what I mean? Stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So take y'all time, man. Life is don't rush your life. You
I
don't
hope
even
we
know when you're
not.
supposed to think
Yeah, I hope we not
that.
overwhelming you. Just focus on today.
Yeah.
Focus on today,
That's
y'all.
all you can do. That's
Seek,
all that's promised is right now. So
seek the kingdom first. Everything else shall
mhm.
follow. Do not worry about tomorrow. Literally,
Yeah.
just do that,
That's a bar.
and
That's a
you
bar. Hold
real.
on. But appreciate y'all for listening, man. We're gonna go ahead and end it here. If you like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you dislike the video, go ahead and dislike the video. You probably didn't though. Subscribe to the channel for us. And then if you can hit that hype button, if it shows up on your screen, hype the video up. It helps us show up in the algorithm. It helps more people see us. Um, you got any closing remarks?
No, I just learned the hype button. So when I watch YouTube, I be trying to hit description and hype will pop up. And I'm like,
Hype
bro,
will be right
what
there.
is hype? And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I could hype stuff up. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah, it's
not
kind of
tapped
lit.
in. But
I feel that. It's fairly new. I think they started it like about 2, 3 months ago,
okay,
but
so it
they were
ain't too
slowly rolling it out,
okay.
kind of thing. Where some people had the ability, and some people didn't. And it's mostly at first they started it with only being able to do it with smaller channels. Now it's kind of you could hype a video with 1 million subscribers, 2, 4 million subscribers. It only makes sense. What's the point of hyping it? But oh well.
Whatever.
Y'all have a good week, man. We'll see y'all on the
Yeah.
next one.
Like y'all.
Love y'all.